All right, today's Mamba moment. We go back to February 2nd, 2009. This is the game that Kobe Bean Bryant went to the Garden and scored 61. He did it in front of Spike. He did it in front of Walt Clyde Frazier, and he did it in front of a sold out Madison Square Garden and a New York fan base that showed them they had no choice but show them nothing but respect. But yeah, for today's Mamba moment, we got one of the many Nick fans that have memories of this Mamba moment. It is Top Bunk Sports. We got David from Top Bunk Sports in here. Brother, when you look back at this game, Kobe scored 61. He shot 19 for 31, 20 for 20 from free throws. I, I know this was a dark time for you guys, but man, what you thinking when you think of this Mamba moment?
Well, before I give my thought on that, I just want to say, God rest his soul, one of the greatest of all time, Kobe Bryant. Just looking at that kind of got me a little bit of a teary eye because you watch his highlights now and you look at his past moments, and you still wish he was here because he still had so much to accomplish. So God bless him always, and God bless his family and God rest his soul. But I mean, that's a moment that no Knick fan, including me, will ever forget. I around that time wasn't really watching basketball like that, like on a consistent basis, but I had uncles that were, and I specifically remember on that day, on February 2nd, 2009, where I just happened to see them watching the game, and I mostly think that they were watching it because of Kobe. I mean, and they knew Kobe was coming into town, and I just happened to see them watching it, and just decided to sit there and watch. And I was just amazed at how, first of all, how bad the Knicks were guarding Kobe. I mean, Kobe got any shot he wanted. He was spacing out the floor, and they just couldn't do anything to him. They couldn't stop him. He seemed comfortable out there, and he put on a master class of a performance. It was just something I've never seen. One of the reasons why I started watching basketball down, 2 years down, 2 years, 3 years down the line, and you know, I could say thank God that I was able to see Kobe still play before he retired, and that for some reason when I sat there, I was just like, wow, like just the fact that he was able to make those shots, with especially those that fake that he got Chandler on, and shoot it off the backboard, and it's just one of those things I've never seen before. So he opened my eyes to a lot of things. This is one of those performances that only greats could do, and just shows you why Kobe was Kobe.
Yeah, absolutely, man. They threw everyone at him. They threw Quentin Richardson at him. They threw Chris Duhon. They threw Wilson Chandler. Nick Robinson didn't want none of that smoke. I think at some moments they had Gallinari on him. Like you know, this was a rough one, and I think what makes it great, you know, um, he did it in front of the Garden, man. And one thing we know about New York, one thing that we know about the Garden, it's the Mecca. But real recognize real, and for the Knicks fans at the end of the game, chanting MVP. They have respect for the Mamba. He had respect for New York. He never, you know, he knew what it was. He knew what he needed to do when he came through. And this was no exception. He put on a show, and he didn't take those moments in New York in the Garden for granted. I know him and Spike Lee were doing a documentary, and he was like, yo, he didn't want to hear Spike Lee's mouth. So he was like, you know what? I want to be the one doing the shit talking. So, he made sure to shut him up. But yeah, this is one of those iconic Kobe Bryant games. Um, that yeah, it's part of the legend of Mamba for real. And one thing Knicks fans always had a deep respect. It takes a lot to get a Knicks fan to respect an opponent, but they always had uh, great respect for Kobe Bryant for sure, man. But yeah, man, we about to close out this Mamba moment of the day. Uh, we got David from Top Bunks Sports. You got any last words on this Mamba moment?
No, man, just shout out to you and Purple and Gold for doing this extraordinary thing. I think it's a great idea, a tribute to one of the greatest of all times. And I think if it gets out there even more, I think Vanessa and the kids will be proud that you guys in Laker Nation continue to show support and show just the love and admiration and tributes that you guys have for Kobe. Obviously, MSG is known to really show their side of negativity when they want to for a player, but they understood the magnitude of Kobe Bryant. They understood who he was to the game, how great he was, and they understood how great that moment was. And there's nothing you could do but show, respect in that type of moment. So we Kobe has always said that he's loved MSG, and I'm sure Knick fans love him as well, regardless if he was on the other side of the states playing for a different team. So, like I said, I appreciate you for having me on this and letting me do this. I love Kobe Bryant myself, and like I said, every time I see a highlight of him, I get teary eyed because I know how much he still had left in this world, and he gave us a lot of great moments as basketball fans. So I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. No matter what team you root for, 61 in the Garden is still 61 in the Garden.
Yes,
So
sir.
that wraps up this Mamba moment. We out.
To go home and do some work now back at the hotel. Now, is he even going to speak to you after what you just did to his Knicks?
That's another thing. I had to make sure I focus because I want to sit next to him, tonight, going over this film and him talking trash and popping off at the mouth about how the Knicks beat us. So
I think you took care of that. Congratulations.
thank you very much.
That's Kobe Bryant. He holds the scoring record in this building.
Gigi, Nani, Vivi, I'll be home in a little bit. Love you guys.